The stars shimmered coldly outside the observation deck of the human exploratory ship Aegis. Commander Elias Vance stood with his arms crossed, staring at the alien world below. Zithera Prime was beautiful, with swirling green oceans and silver cities that glittered like a dream. But beauty often hid danger, and Elias felt it. He had learned that in space, nothing was as safe as it seemed. "Commander," Lieutenant Mara said, breaking the silence, "sensors are picking up life forms, hundreds of them moving fast." Elias nodded. "We know they are waiting for us. Stay sharp. Remember, first contact is delicate. One wrong move could end everything before it starts." The mission was simple in theory. Meet the Zitheran queen, Lysera, and establish peaceful contact. In practice, it was anything but simple. The Zitherans were proud and secretive, an ancient civilization that had dominated their sector of the galaxy for millennia. Humans were newcomers, fragile and unpredictable, and Lysera's reputation for being ruthless preceded her. When the human shuttle entered the atmosphere, the palace floated above the silver oceans, a magnificent structure of crystal and light. It was beautiful and intimidating. As the humans disembarked, Elias felt the weight of their task. Every step would be watched. Every word counted. Lysera waited in the throne room, tall and radiant, her silver-blue skin glowing under the light of her palace. Her eyes, sharp and calculating, swept over the humans. When they landed on Elias, her gaze hardened. "You are human," she said, voice like steel over silk. "I do not touch humans." Elias stepped forward calmly. "I am here to talk, not to fight. We come in peace." Lysera snorted, a sound more dangerous than anger. "Peace is for the weak. Let us see if your actions match your words." Before Elias could reply, alarms screamed across the palace. The walls shook. Explosions ripped through the air, shattering crystal panels and sending shards raining like knives. Guards shouted and scrambled. The humans dove for cover as fire spread across the hall. Elias saw her then, Queen Lysera herself, slashing through the chaos to protect her attendants, her elegance replaced with raw power. A sharp piece of debris struck her shoulder, and she staggered, caught off balance. Without thinking, Elias ran to her side, lifting her before she could fall. "You're not worthy to touch me, human," she snarled, her teeth bared. Her voice carried anger, pain, and disbelief. "Step away," Elias held her carefully. "I won't let you fall." Her eyes narrowed. She was wounded, but still proud, still untouchable, still queen. And yet, she had no choice but to let a human carry her through a world of chaos. They moved through the palace, dodging fire and falling debris. Outside, the sky was filled with rogue ships, Zitheran warlords who had betrayed their own queen to seize power. Their ships unleashed energy blasts that tore through the palace walls. Elias shielded Lysera with his body as a panel fell from above, narrowly missing them both. Eventually, they reached a secluded chamber, one untouched by fire. Elias gently lowered Lysera onto a smooth, glowing platform. She glared at him, chest rising and falling, the only sound her ragged breathing and the distant alarms. "You do not understand what you are risking," she said, voice tight with controlled fury. "My life is not yours to save." Elias knelt beside her, examining her wounds. The cut on her shoulder was deep, and the skin around it glowed with alien bioenergy, a sign of infection if left untreated. Humans could not use their technology directly on her body, but Elias had learned enough from research and simulations to improvise. "I am not asking permission," he said calmly. "I am doing what I must." He worked quickly, using a portable med kit combined with his own modifications. He stabilized the wound, controlling bleeding with careful pressure, and introducing healing nanites into her bloodstream. The queen's eyes followed every motion, sharp and unyielding, but a flicker of curiosity betrayed her pride. As he worked, he explained in quiet tones. Your biology is different, but not beyond understanding. Humans adapt, we survive, and sometimes we save others, even when it is dangerous. Lizera remained silent, watching him with a mixture of suspicion and something she would not name. Respect, perhaps. She had ruled her people for centuries and had seen warriors, scientists, and tacticians, yet something about this human unsettled her. Outside, the palace continued to burn. The traitorous faction of Zitherans moved with deadly precision, capturing or killing anyone in their path. Elias realized that the mission was no longer diplomacy. It was survival. I must get you out of here, Elias said, voice firm. They will not stop until you are gone or dead. We have allies outside who can help. Lysra tilted her head, considering him. You are foolish, she said, but you are also persistent. Perhaps that is what humans do. Persist when the odds are against them. It is irritating. Elias allowed a small, tense smile. I call it determination. The two of them moved carefully, using side passages and hidden tunnels Elias had memorized from palace schematics. They encountered guards loyal to the rogue faction. Elias fought with a combination of agility, strategy, and pure human unpredictability. He dodged energy blasts, disarmed weapons, and created diversions that allowed Lysera to move safely. During a brief pause, Lysera leaned against the wall, breathing shallowly. Why do you care? She asked, her voice low, almost questioning. I am an alien. Your people are fragile. You risk everything for someone who cannot even thank you properly. Elias looked at her steadily. Because it is the right thing to do. Because someone has to stand when others fall. Humans do not always succeed, but we do not give up. Not for ourselves, not for others. For a moment, the Queen's cold expression faltered. She studied him as if trying to read his very soul. It was a look that few had ever seen, Lysera considering, not judging. Suddenly, an explosion rocked the tunnel ahead. Smoke and debris filled the air. The traitors' forces had found them. They could hear the shuffle of armored footsteps, the hiss of energy weapons charging. Elias tightened his grip on his human-made weapon, signaling Lysera to stay back. Go, she whispered sharply, her usual commanding tone softened. I can handle them. Elias shook his head. I am not leaving you. The battle was brutal. Elias fought with all his strength, using human ingenuity against superior alien technology. He redirected energy flows, used walls for cover, and outmaneuvered enemies who had centuries of combat training. Lysera, despite her injuries, supported him in subtle ways, disabling security systems, opening pathways, guiding him through the chaos. At last, they reached a larger chamber, a temporary safe zone. They were battered, exhausted, but alive. Lysera's breathing had stabilized, and the wounds Elias treated held, for now. She looked at him then, really looked at him, and for the first time there was no anger in her eyes, only grudging acknowledgement. You are reckless, she said softly. Perhaps worthy, after all, in ways I cannot yet name. Elias only nodded. Understanding the weight of her words, there was no praise in them, but there was recognition. In the world of Zithera Prime, that was as close as a human could come to being seen as an equal. The alarm still echoed faintly, reminding them that the danger was far from over. The palace was under siege, and the rogue faction would not rest until their coup was complete. Elias prepared himself. He would not fail. He would protect her, the queen, and ensure that humans were not mere observers in this galaxy of ancient power. Humans had a place here, and he would prove it, through courage, through strength, through unwavering determination. He extended his hand to Lysera. We move together. You are not alone. For a long moment she did not take it. Then finally she allowed her hand to meet his. It was not trust, not yet. It was a bond forged in fire, danger, and necessity, a beginning that neither human nor alien had expected. As they disappeared into the shadows of the palace, ready to face whatever came next, Elias felt a surge of certainty. Humanity might be small, fragile, and young in the cosmos, but humans had something that no technology or power could replace: courage, ingenuity, and the will to stand, no matter the odds. And in that moment, even the alien queen could not deny it. The shadows of the palace were deep and cold, but Elias Vance moved through them with steady determination. The distant alarms echoed faintly, reminders that the rogue Zitharan faction was still hunting them. Lysera walked beside him, her wounds carefully treated but still aching. She did not speak much, but her presence beside him was enough. They were a team forged by necessity, danger, and trust, earned in the fire of battle. They reached a lower chamber where the energy shields had been disabled by the traitor's sabotage. The human commander paused, scanning for threats. The corridors were empty, but Elias knew better than to trust silence. Humans thrived on caution, observation, and ingenuity, qualities that often allowed them to survive where others would fail. "Listen," he whispered. "They have reinforcements coming. We have only one chance to stop them from reaching the control room and taking full command of the palace. We move fast, or it's over." Lysera's silver eyes narrowed. "You are bold for a human," she said. "Do you understand the danger fully?" "I do," Elias replied. "But I also understand courage. And humans never give up." The first encounter came swiftly. A squad of rogue Zitharan guards rounded the corner, their energy weapons ready. Elias acted first, throwing a small device that emitted a blinding flash of light. The guards screamed in disorientation, giving him the chance to strike with precision. One by one, he incapacitated them using a combination of speed, strategy, and human unpredictability. Lysera, though still weakened, assisted. She manipulated alien energy fields, opening doors and redirecting power grids. Together, human and alien moved as a seamless unit. For the first time, Lysera felt something unfamiliar: admiration. Humans were unpredictable, yes, but they were also resourceful and determined, qualities her own people often underestimated. As they moved deeper into the palace, Elias considered the bigger picture. The rogue faction intended to use the human presence as an excuse to provoke war. If they succeeded, countless lives on both sides would be lost. It was not enough to survive. They had to stop the coup entirely. They entered a grand corridor lined with statues of ancient Zitharan leaders. The air hummed with power. At the end of the hall, the traitor waited, flanked by elite guards. His eyes gleamed with arrogance. "So, the human thinks he can save the queen?" the traitor sneered. "You will fail. She belongs to us now, and when she falls, your people will pay." Elias stepped forward. "Lysera may be your queen, but she is also a living being. I will not let you harm her, and I will not let you threaten my people." The battle began. The traitor struck first, wielding advanced Zitharan weaponry, moving faster than Elias expected. But humans had something Zitharans often lacked: adaptability. Elias dodged and feinted, using the environment to his advantage. He ducked behind a statue as energy bolts passed, then rolled across the floor, flipping one of the guards with precise timing. Lysera, despite her injuries, struck with controlled force. She directed energy streams from the walls, disabling several of the guards' weapons. Her coordination with Elias was seamless, human intuition and alien power blending into something neither could have achieved alone. As the fight reached its peak, the traitor aimed directly at Lysera. Elias threw himself in front of her, deflecting the blast with a makeshift shield. Sparks flew, and the force of the impact threw him back, but he quickly regained his stance. "You are brave," Lysera said, her voice tight but impressed. "Perhaps humans are more than I thought." Elias only nodded. There was no time for words. Courage was action, not talk. Using a combination of improvised weapons and strategic thinking, Elias created a diversion. He redirected power from the walls to short-circuit the traitor's weapons, giving him the opening he needed. With a precise strike, he disarmed the traitor and pinned him to the ground. Lysera approached, her steps measured. She looked at the traitor, then back at Elias. "You have done what my people could not," she said softly. "You have protected me and prevented war. That is remarkable." Elias helped her to her feet. "We did it together," he said. "Humans and Zitherans." The rogue faction quickly realized their defeat and began to retreat, their morale broken. Lysera moved to secure the control room, restoring power and communication with loyal forces. The palace was safe, at least for now. As the dust settled, Lysera studied Elias closely. "You risked everything for me," she said. "Not for gain, not for glory, just because it was right." Elias shrugged. "That is what humans do. We survive, we fight, and we protect those who cannot protect themselves. Sometimes we succeed, sometimes we fail, but we do not give up." Her expression softened. For centuries, she had judged species by strength, intelligence, and cunning. But Elias had shown her something different: moral courage, resilience, and ingenuity. In that moment, she realized that humans were not weak, as her people often assumed. They were something else, something worthy of respect. The aftermath was quiet, but tense. Lysera summoned her council, securing her position and reaffirming loyalty among her people. She addressed Elias with a formality that hid a new understanding. "Commander Vance, you have proven your worth, not as a human, but as a being capable of courage, honor, and strength. You have my respect." Elias nodded, feeling the weight of her words. Respect from a Zitharan queen was no small matter. It meant humans had a place in a galaxy that often dismissed them. Later, Elias walked through the palace gardens with Lysera. The silver lakes reflected the alien sky, and the flowers glowed faintly with bioluminescence. She remained silent for a while, then spoke. "You have changed my perception," she admitted. "Humans are not just fragile creatures. You are persistent, creative, and brave. I did not expect this." Elias smiled faintly. "We survive because we have to, and when we help others, we prove that survival is not just about ourselves. It's about everyone who depends on us." Lysera regarded him, her eyes reflecting the alien stars above. "Perhaps that is what makes you worthy. Not your strength, not your technology, but your determination, your courage, your heart." They paused, and for a moment the palace was still. Outside, the stars shone without judgment, as if acknowledging the bond between human and queen, a bond forged in fire, danger, and mutual respect. The next days were spent repairing the palace, securing alliances, and rebuilding trust among Lysera's people. Elias trained a small group of human and alien soldiers together, teaching adaptability, strategy, and teamwork. His methods were unusual, but effective. Humans learned alien technology quickly, while Zitherans learned to appreciate the unpredictability and resilience of human ingenuity. Lysera watched from above, noting how humans could change the course of events, not through sheer power, but through creativity and courage. She saw what her people had long ignored. Humans had something rare in the galaxy. They had the ability to inspire, to adapt, and to face danger without flinching. As the final council meeting concluded, Lysera addressed her advisors. "Humans have proven themselves today," she said. "Not as weak creatures to be dismissed, but as allies, as beings capable of courage and honor. We will honor this alliance and learn from them." Elias stood quietly to the side, feeling the weight of the moment. It was more than recognition. It was acceptance. Humanity had earned its place among the stars, not through domination or conquest, but through bravery, intelligence, and moral courage. That night, as Elias looked out over the Silver Lakes, he reflected on what had happened. The galaxy was vast, filled with wonders, dangers, and species far older and more powerful than humans. Yet humans had something unique. They could persevere, even when the odds were impossible. They could adapt, think, and act with courage. And they could inspire loyalty and respect even among the most proud and ancient of civilizations. Lysera appeared beside him, her presence commanding yet calm. She did not speak for a long time, only standing there, observing. Then she said, softly but firmly, "Commander Vance, humans are more than I imagined. I will not forget what you have done. Neither will my people." Elias turned to her, feeling a sense of accomplishment and hope. "Neither will we forget Zithara Prime. Together we can face whatever comes next." The stars reflected in the waters below, and for the first time, human and alien stood not as enemies or strangers, but as equals. It was the beginning of a partnership that could change the galaxy. Elias knew one thing for certain. Humanity had proven itself, not with weapons or technology, but with the most human quality of all, courage. And in the heart of the Zitharan palace, under alien stars, a human had earned the respect of a queen.